Chosen one, listen carefully, this message you about to hear. The divine alarm is sounding. Something ancient has just been activated. Not outside of you, but within you. This is not motivation, this is a signal. A reminder sent at the exact moment your soul was ready to remember. You didn't click this by accident. You were pulled here. Because when the divine alarm sounds, only the chosen can hear it. And you heard it clearly. You were marked before you were born. Long before your name was spoken on this earth, your spirit was known by God. You were not created randomly or sent here to blend in. You were sent with awareness hidden inside you. And now that awareness is waking up. From a young age, you felt different. Not better, not worse, just different. You saw the world through a deeper lens. And that difference made others uncomfortable. Why your life never felt normal. Your struggles were never ordinary. Your pain always carried lessons. Your loneliness always carried purpose. Because comfort was never meant to raise you. God does not awaken chosen ones through ease. He awakens them through pressure. Through loss that sharpens vision. Through silence that teaches truth. The moment the alarm begins, awakening does not arrive gently. It disrupts. It shakes your identity. It forces you to question everything you once accepted. You start seeing through illusions. You feel detached from old conversations. Old habits lose their grip. This is not confusion. This is alignment. Signs you can no longer ignore. You crave solitude more than noise. Not because you hate people, but because you hear God clearer in silence. Your intuition becomes sharper. Your tolerance for falsehood disappears. Sleep changes. Dreams intensify. Time feels strained. Your spirit is recalibrating to truth. Why society fears the awakened. An awakened soul cannot be controlled. It cannot be programmed by fear. It cannot be distracted by empty trends. And systems depend on distraction. So they label you strange. Too intense. Too quiet. Too deep. The attacks were never personal. The resistance you faced was not about you. It was about what you carry. Light exposes darkness without trying. And darkness always reacts. That is why betrayal followed you. That is why misunderstanding surrounded you. That is why isolation shaped you. You were being prepared, not punished. The divine separation. God always separates before he elevates. Before revelation, there is removal. Before clarity, there is silence. Before power, there is humility. You were pulled away from certain people, certain places, certain desires, because your assignment requires purity of focus. You were never meant to follow the crowd. The path of the chosen is narrow. It is lonely by design, because truth cannot be carried by many, only by those willing to stand alone. You stopped chasing approval. You stopped explaining yourself. You stopped shrinking to fit rooms. That is growth. The awakening feels like losing yourself. But in reality, you are remembering yourself. The false layers are falling. The programmed fears are dissolving. The real you is rising. This process is uncomfortable because the ego resists death. But the soul recognizes home. And your soul knows exactly where it's going. Why you question everything now. Blind belief no longer satisfies you. You seek truth, not comfort. Depth, not noise. Meaning, not popularity. This is the mind of the awakened. You are not rebelling against God. You are returning to him with awareness. With sincerity. The burden of seeing clearly. Once you see, you cannot unsee. Ignorance is no longer an option. You feel responsibility in your chest, a calling that refuses to be ignored. This weight is not meant to crush you. It is meant to shape you, to mature you, to prepare you for leadership of the soul. Why you felt out of place everywhere. Chosen ones are never fully comfortable here, because their spirit remembers a higher truth. You sense that this world is temporary, that there is more beyond the surface. This discomfort is guidance. It keeps you searching, keeps you awake, keeps you aligned with eternity. The silent training phase. God trains his chosen in hidden places, in seasons where no one applauds, where progress is internal, and strength is forged in private. That is why no one sees your growth, but everyone will feel it later, because depth is built in silence, not in attention. Why you attract both admiration and hate. Your presence triggers others. Some feel inspired, others feel exposed, because light reveals what people hide from themselves. You don't need to dim yourself. You don't need to explain your light. You don't need permission to shine. Remain grounded in truth. The divine alarm means action. Awakening is not just awareness. It is responsibility. You are called to live differently, to speak carefully, to walk consciously. Every choice now carries weight, because you know better. And when you know better, you move better. That is accountability. You were built for this time. You are not late. You are not early. You are precisely where God needs you. At the exact moment truth is needed most. Chaos increases before awakening spreads. Darkness grows louder before light rises. You are here because balance is required. And you carry it. Stop doubting the calling. Doubt is natural, but staying in doubt is a choice. You have felt the pull too strongly to deny it now. Your spirit already answered. Trust the process. Trust the pressure. Trust the silence. God does not misguide the chosen. The fear you feel is the doorway. Fear appears before elevation, because the ego senses transformation. Walk through it anyway. Faith is movement, not comfort. Every level requires courage, and you were built with it. Even when you forget, even when you feel weak, remember who you answer to. Not the crowd, not trends, not opinions. You answer to God alone. Stay humble. Stay aware. Stay sincere. That is protection. This message is your confirmation. You asked for a sign. This is it. You asked for clarity. This is it. The divine alarm does not ring twice. It activates those who are ready. And you are ready, whether you feel it or not. Do not ignore this awakening. Embrace it with courage and discipline. Commit to your growth. Commit to your truth. If this message reached you, respond to it. Like this video to seal your intention. Comment to declare your awakening. Subscribe to return to awakening and walk this path with those who remember. The weight you feel is not random. That heaviness in your chest is not anxiety without reason. It is awareness settling into responsibility. When truth enters the mind, it presses on the heart. Because now you know what you can no longer ignore. You feel the urge to change everything. Your habits, your direction, your inner circle. This is the divine recalibrating your path. Why restlessness followed your awakening. Peace does not come immediately after awakening. First comes restlessness, because your old life can no longer contain your new awareness. The soul outgrows the environment before the body leaves it. You feel uncomfortable doing what once felt normal. Entertainment feels empty. Small talk feels draining. Your spirit is demanding alignment. The strange urge to withdraw. You didn't become antisocial. You became selective. Energy became sacred. Time became valuable. Chosen ones withdraw to listen, to hear God beneath the noise, to separate intuition from influence. This isolation is not punishment. It is protection. Why you see through people now. Your discernment sharpened suddenly. You notice intentions behind words, motives behind smiles, silence behind compliments. This sight can feel like a burden, because ignorance was easier. But clarity is power, and power requires discipline. The loss that triggered your shift. Something had to break. Someone had to leave. An identity had to collapse. Because awakening rarely happens in comfort. That loss was a doorway. That heartbreak was a signal. That disappointment was divine timing. It stripped illusions and revealed truth. Why you no longer fit old roles. You were never meant to stay small. Roles that once defined you now suffocate you. Expectations feel heavy. Masks feel unbearable. You are shedding versions that no longer serve truth. This will confuse people, because they benefited from who you used to be. But growth is not betrayal. The guilt of outgrowing others. You feel guilt for changing, for moving differently, for thinking deeper. But growth does not require permission. You are not abandoning anyone. You are honoring your assignment. Those meant to walk with you will adjust. Those who cannot were only seasonal. Why your emotions feel intense. Awakened souls feel deeply. Not because they are weak, but because they are connected. To truth, to empathy, to awareness. You feel the weight of the world at times. This sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a compass. It guides you toward purpose. The internal war you didn't expect. One part of you wants comfort. The other wants truth. This inner conflict is initiation. The old self fighting to survive. Do not rush this phase. Integration takes time. Clarity comes through patience. And discipline settles the mind. Why you can't turn back now. Once awakened, return is impossible. You can pretend. You can distract yourself. But the knowing remains. Your conscience is louder now. Your intuition interrupts often. This is guidance. And ignoring it creates suffering. The loneliness of the path. Even surrounded by people, you feel alone. Because few can meet you where you are. Depth isolates before it connects. This phase is temporary but necessary. God removes noise before giving direction. Solitude sharpens hearing. And hearing prepares obedience. Why time feels different to you. You sense urgency without panic. Stillness without stagnation. Moments feel significant, as if something unseen is approaching. This is alignment with divine timing. You are becoming present. And presence is power. The quiet confidence growing in you. You speak less but stand firmer. You react less but see more. Your energy stabilizes. Your boundaries strengthen. This is inner authority forming. Not ego. Not pride. But knowing who you are. Why old fears are RSUFACNG. Fear rises before it dissolves. Old wounds surface to be healed. Triggers appear to be released. Nothing is happening by accident. Face what comes up. Do not suppress it. Healing completes the awakening. The shift from seeking to becoming. You once searched for answers everywhere. Now answers rise from within. Because truth has taken root, and roots grow silently. You are no longer chasing purpose. You are becoming it. And becoming requires patience and faith in unseen growth. The divine alarm is still ringing. It does not scream. It pulses quietly, through intuition, through conviction, through clarity. Each time you ignore it, discomfort grows. Each time you listen, alignment deepens. This alarm is guidance, not fear. Stay aware, not arrogant. Awakening is not superiority. It is responsibility. Humility protects the chosen. Arrogance delays purpose. Remain teachable. Remain grounded. Remain grateful. That is how light stays pure. You are being POSITONED. Pieces are moving unseen. Delays are aligning timing. Silence is strengthening character. Nothing is wasted. You may not see the full picture yet, but trust is being built. And trust is required for what comes next. Hold steady in this season. Do not rush clarity. Do not force outcomes. Remain disciplined in thought. Remain sincere in intention. This season is shaping you. And what is being shaped will soon be revealed. The pressure is proof of elevation. Pressure always increases before expansion. What feels heavy is actually strengthening you. Resistance appears when growth is near. Because the old structure must crack to make room. You are being stretched beyond comfort, beyond old limits, beyond familiar identities. This is not breakdown. This is breakthrough forming quietly. Why you feel observed by life itself. You sense that every choice matters now. That nothing is neutral anymore. Your actions echo inwardly. Because awareness brings accountability. Life responds faster to you. Lessons arrive quickly. Consequences become immediate. This is precision training. The strange calm inside the chaos. Even when everything feels unstable, there is a calm beneath it. A still point inside your chest. That calm is not denial. It is trust forming. You are learning to stand without certainty, to move without guarantees, to believe without evidence. This is faith maturing. Why you no longer argue your truth. You stopped convincing, stopped defending, stopped explaining. Because truth does not need validation. Those meant to hear you will recognize resonance. Those who resist are not your assignment. Silence has become your strength. Presence has become your voice. The energy shift others notice. People feel something different around you. They may not name it, but they sense it. Your calm unsettles chaos. Some will draw closer. Others will pull away. Both responses are alignment. Let them happen. Why you are drawn to discipline now. Routine feels grounding. Structure feels safe. Clarity feels necessary. Because awakened power without discipline becomes unstable. You are learning self-mastery. Of thoughts. Of reactions. Of desires. This is leadership training. The MOMENTS of doubt are tests. Doubt does not mean failure. It means refinement. Each doubt asks a question. Will you trust what you know or retreat to comfort? Passing these tests builds inner certainty. Not loud confidence. Quiet knowing. The kind that cannot be shaken. Why you feel called to serve. Awakening naturally turns outward. You begin to sense responsibility beyond yourself. To help. To guide. To protect truth. Service does not always mean speaking. Sometimes it means embodying. Living as example. Integrity in motion. The difference between isolation and alignment. You are not hiding from the world. You are aligning before engaging it. Warriors sharpen blades before battle, not during. This solitude is strategic, purposeful, temporary. Do not mistake preparation for abandonment. Why old temptations return. Temptation resurfaces to test resolve. Old patterns knock to see if the door is still open. This is confirmation of growth, because what no longer fits must be consciously refused. Each refusal strengthens authority. Each choice builds identity. You are choosing who you are becoming. The AWAKNEDC, CONSEQNCES, ahead of time. You sense outcomes before they happen. Not fearfully, clearly. This foresight is protection. Trust these nudges. They are not imagination. They are guidance, refined through awareness. Why you feel disconnected from material desire. You still function in the world, but you are no longer owned by it. Status feels hollow. Excess feels distracting. This detachment frees focus, and focus amplifies impact. You are learning what truly matters. The subtle grief of awakening. There is grief in seeing clearly. Grief for lost time, for unconscious years, for relationships that cannot follow. Allow this grief. It honors growth. It releases attachment, and it makes space for purpose. Why you protect your peace ferociously. Peace became non-negotiable because chaos costs energy, and your energy is needed elsewhere. Boundaries are not walls. They are filters. They allow truth in and keep distortion out. The moment you stopped fearing being misunderstood, you accepted that clarity is not universal, that depth is not for everyone, and that is okay. Freedom arrived when approval left. You no longer shrink. You no longer chase acceptance. You stand as you are. The inner voice is louder now. Guidance comes quickly, sometimes without words. Just knowing, just certainty. This voice grows louder when honored, quieter when ignored. Relationship requires attention, and you are learning to listen. You are being taught timing. Not everything must be done now. Not every truth must be spoken. Wisdom is knowing when to act and when to wait. Patience is not delay. It is precision, and precision creates impact. The divine alarm has shifted you permanently. You will never fully return to who you were. And that is not loss. That is evolution. What lies ahead requires this version of you. Stronger, clearer, rooted in truth, the invisible hand GYDINGU. You begin to notice protection in hindsight. Moments where something didn't work out. Paths that closed unexpectedly. People who drifted away without explanation. At the time it felt like loss. Now it feels like rescue. Because what missed you was never meant to reach you. And what reached you was measured by God. Why certain doors refuse to open. Not every delay is denial. Some doors stay shut to build patience. Others remain closed to preserve purity. Timing is part of the test. If everything opened instantly, discipline would not form. Strength would not develop. And discernment would stay shallow. You are learning to wait without weakening. The quiet replacement of desire. Old wants dissolve without struggle. You don't fight them. You outgrow them. Because new hunger takes their place. You crave meaning, depth, alignment. Your desires are being refined, not removed. Why you feel stronger after pain. Pain introduced you to yourself. It stripped illusions, exposed resilience, and revealed capacity you never knew existed. You survived what you thought would destroy you. That survival changed your self-image. You no longer underestimate yourself. And that is power, the end of seeking validation. Applause no longer moves you. Criticism no longer breaks you. Because your reference point shifted inward. You learned that peace is louder than praise. And alignment is richer than approval. This maturity stabilizes your spirit. Why you notice patterns everywhere. Life speaks in repetition now. Numbers, themes, lessons, encounters. Nothing feels random anymore. Because awareness recognizes design. You are reading the language of experience. The difference between being alone and being empty. You may be alone often, but you are not empty. There is fullness in your solitude. Silence nourishes you. Stillness restores you. You are learning to be complete without distraction. Why your taste for truth intensifs. Half answers no longer satisfy. Surface wisdom feels incomplete. You seek substance. This hunger sharpens your discernment. It separates noise from truth. And truth becomes your compass. The reprograming of the mind. Old beliefs surface to be questioned. Inherited fears lose authority. You are unlearning before relearning. This phase feels unstable, but it is necessary. Because a renewed mind cannot be built on false foundations. Why you move slower but stronger. Urgency has been replaced with intention. You choose carefully. Speak selectively. Act deliberately. Slowness here is wisdom. Because rushed power creates damage. Controlled power creates impact. The moment you stopped seeking signs. Because you became the sign. Your presence confirms truth. Your clarity reflects alignment. You no longer chase reassurance. You walk in quiet certainty. That certainty cannot be taken. Why you feel called to simplicity. Complexity drains energy. Simplicity sharpens focus. You remove what is unnecessary. This is not loss. It is refinement. And refinement prepares you for responsibility. The peace that comes without explanation. Sometimes peace arrives without answers. Without solutions. Without clarity. That peace is trust. And trust is higher than understanding. You are learning to rest without knowing everything. Why you no longer fear silence. Silence once felt empty. Now it feels full. Because presence fills what noise once masked. In silence you hear guidance. In stillness you feel direction. This is communion. The internal alignment others can feel. You don't announce change. You embody it. An embodiment speaks louder than words. People feel grounded around you. Or uncomfortable. Both reveal alignment. Why your path feels unexplainable. You cannot fully articulate what you are becoming. Because language lags behind transformation. You are ahead of explanation. Trust what cannot yet be explained. Clarity will catch up. And when it does, you will be ready. The call to embrace discomfort. Comfort is no longer the goal. Growth lives in tension. Transformation is forged in unease. Every challenge is a lesson in disguise. You were built to withstand uncertainty. To navigate chaos with clarity. To rise when others falter. Discomfort is your proving ground. Why you feel a deeper connection to life. Colors seem sharper. Sounds resonate differently. Moments carry weight. This heightened awareness is the gift of awakening. You see the threads that tie everything together. Life itself begins to feel conscious. And you recognize your part in the design. The quiet power of integrity. Your word now carries gravity. Your actions mirror your values. You no longer compromise for approval. Integrity is invisible, yet undeniable. It attracts what is aligned. It repels what is false. And it forms the foundation of spiritual authority. Why you feel a pull toward higher purpose. Routine tasks no longer satisfy. You crave contribution that matters. You sense a mission bigger than yourself. This pull is not optional. It cannot be ignored. It guides you like a compass through uncertainty. And you must follow it. The transformation of RELATIONSHIPS. Some relationships fade. Others deepen. Connections now resonate on frequency, not convenience. You attract those who mirror truth. You repel those who cling to illusion. This is natural. It is alignment, not punishment. Why you notice energy in everything. Spaces, objects, even people carry vibration. You sense what is authentic and what is hollow. Your perception sharpens beyond sight. This awareness protects you, guides you, and opens doors only meant for your level. The patience required for awakening. Time slows to teach timing. Every step is measured. Rushing risks misalignment. Patience is not passivity. It is power in preparation. Strength in restraint. Wisdom in waiting. Why you are learning to walk lightly. Your presence carries weight now. Words, actions, even thoughts ripple farther. You learn subtlety. You learn observation. This is mastery of influence. Not for control, but for alignment. To act with purpose, not impulse. The sacredness of intuition. Your inner voice becomes a constant guide. It warns. It nudges. It illuminates paths invisible to the unawakened. Ignoring it is costly. Honoring it brings clarity. It is the divine whisper guiding your steps. Why you no longer fear change. Change is no longer a threat. It is an invitation. Every shift brings alignment. Every ending opens a new beginning. You flow with life instead of resisting it. And in that flow, your power grows. The silence that teaches the most. Noise distracts. Opinions confuse. Solitude reveals. In silence, the divine speaks. In stillness, clarity emerges. This is your laboratory for transformation. Why you feel stronger alone than among many. Crowds dilute your energy. Isolation amplifies it. You recharge in solitude. You sharpen in reflection. This is not loneliness. It is preparation. Your strength is being cultivated quietly. The shift in your perception of time. Moments stretch and condense. You see patterns unfolding before they manifest. You anticipate outcomes with precision. Time becomes a tool, not an enemy. You are learning to move with rhythm. And rhythm creates mastery. The purpose behind every struggle. Nothing you faced was meaningless. Every trial was a lesson. Every obstacle a teacher. Your suffering was never punishment. It was training. To strengthen you. To prepare you for responsibility. Why you no longer seek approval. Validation used to matter. Now it fades like a distant echo. Your approval is enough. This freedom empowers you. Your energy is no longer spent on others' perception. You walk authentically. And authenticity is magnetic. The growing sense of urgency. You feel the pulse of destiny quickening. Moments are precious. Opportunities appear fleeting. This urgency is divine. It reminds you that awakening is not passive. Action now seeds the future. The inner stillness that holds you steady. Even when storms rage, you remain grounded. Your center is calm, your focus unwavering. This stillness is armor. It carries clarity through chaos. It transforms pressure into power. Why you feel a sense of alignment. Everything begins to make sense in reflection. Paths converge. Events connect. Lessons reveal patterns. Alignment is quiet, subtle, yet undeniable. It confirms you are on your intended path. The divine alarm continues to resonate. It is no longer just a signal. It is a rhythm pulsing through your being. A call to awaken further, to act with purpose, to embody truth fully. Do not hesitate now. This is the moment separation turns into action. If this message ignited something in you, respond to it with intention. Like this video, to declare that you are choosing awareness over sleep. Comment to confirm that you heard the divine alarm and you are answering the call. Subscribe to return to awakening so you stay aligned, protected, and guided as this journey unfolds. Remain awake. Remain disciplined. Remain truthful. The chosen do not wait for permission. They move when the signal is given.